Late great Chris Ledoux on Real Country Variety, 94.3 The Oxen. What are you going to do with that cowboy? It's 8:39, time for Coffee Talk, brought to you by the Comanche Chamber of Commerce and Agriculture. Check them out at hashtag Explore Comanche, Texas. And we say good morning to Cynthia Newton of Hope Counseling. How we doing?
Good morning. It's Monday.
You almost awake?
Trying.
Now talk to me.
I'm trying to get awake. I think I've had half a cup of coffee.
All right. We're going to have to swap mics. There, now you fixed it.
Is that better?
Yeah, you can build a station for that.
Okay.
A $75 call-out fee right there.
Technical. Me and my technical, yeah, I didn't know I had those anyway. Okay. So, we've been talking about drama, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in families.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, one of the things that happens as we build our circle, whomever that is often we start having friends that may suffer from depression or mental illness, and you know, then you start trying to figure out, how do I help this person? I'm not trained. What do I need to do? What is it that I can do to be a friend to somebody with depression or a mental illness without basically taking on everything?
Yeah.
You know, learning to set those boundaries, but also still being there for them.
Right.
And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that today. First off, I want you to understand I have 8 interns that are working with me this semester.
All right.
And I could never do all of this without their help. So
Okay.
they help me get the topics together.
Oh, okay.
Some of the topics, some of them I come up with and tell them to help me find the research. But anyway, so I do have to work and see patients somewhere in it all, right?
Sure.
And then be a mom with 3 kids and
Oh, yeah, it's easy.
farm and
Yeah, piece of cake.
yeah, exactly. There's not enough hours in a day.
Need some help with the legwork.
Yeah, sometimes we have to figure out where that legwork comes from. So anyway, so how to be a friend to someone with depression or mental illness. So we're going to talk specifically about depression because that is so much more out there and more people are aware of it. You know, and that's usually a factor of a lot of mental illnesses anyway. So being a friend to somebody with depression can sometimes be tough to navigate, and even worse, it may make you feel like maybe you should have even taken a step back from that person until that person feels better. However, this cannot be more further from the truth. Your family and friends who suffer from depression can utilize your support in many different ways. So I want you to think about that for a second, because if you try to take a step back, because it's like, okay, they're isolating, they're withdrawing, they need space, they're depressed, I'm just going to take a step back and give that to them, then you're contributing to their depression. You're helping them isolate more. You're helping them withdraw more. And you're not, like I said, it doesn't take much, and we're going to talk about that. It really doesn't take a whole lot to give, but if you just totally withdraw from that person, you're actually going to be contributing to making that depression a little bit worse. So educate yourself about depression. First off, completely erase what you know about depression. I want you to do that right now. Because whatever you know about depression is probably not true. Unless it came from a reputable source. Okay? If it came from your neighbor, if it came from your friend, if it came from, you know, there's some things on the internet that might be somewhat accurate. There's some things, a lot of things that might not. They might be a little more biased. So just be careful about what you're reading. Society likes to paint a picture of what depression is, but very little of it is backed with science. Make sure that you are knowledgeable about depression before you assume anything about your friend. Read articles, do the research. Make sure you are aware of the mental disorder. People experience depression in many different ways, and their symptoms can vary. Okay, so don't just assume, oh, well, they have depression, so that means they're going to have XYZ going on. No, that's not the case at all. There are so many different symptoms that can encompass depression. They may seem sad or tearful. They may appear more pessimistic than usual, or hopeless about the future, that negative, you know, atmosphere.
Yep.
And you don't necessarily want to be around negativity, but then it's like, well, maybe they're more depressed. Talking about feeling guilty, empty, or worthless, seeming less interested in spending time together, or communicate less frequently than they normally would. Get upset easily or unusually irritable. For me, like, I mean, one of the biggest things that I notice is like when I start feeling overwhelmed, my patience with my children goes down.
Imagine that, yeah.
So, I mean, think about that for a minute, because you're not going to be quite as patient. You're going to be more irritable. You're going to be more you're not going to be like And I have for 3 boys, so I mean they're a handful anyway. But yeah, I mean you're gonna, you know, just notice some of those things about you or about the other person that might be kind of red flags. As hey, you know, they might not be doing as well right now, so maybe they're taking on too much. Maybe they need a break. Anyway.
The give a darn jar is full.
So getting upset easily, irritable, having less energy, moving slowly, or seems generally listless. Having less interest in their appearance than usual, or neglect basic hygiene such as showering and brushing their teeth. Having trouble sleeping or sleep much more than usual. They care less about their usual activities and interests. They seem forgetful or have trouble concentrating or deciding on things. They may eat more or less than usual. They may talk about death or suicide. So again, they don't have to meet all of these things. I mean, just be aware that these are just some things that people might be experiencing if they are depressed. So what do you need to do? Okay, Cynthia, you're sitting here telling me that this is what it looks like. What do I do? Listen to them. Listen. It's not that hard to take 5 minutes to listen to somebody. Unsolicited advice is not necessarily the best course to take with someone who's depressed. Yeah. So listen. Yeah. I mean, shut your mouth, yeah. Put some duct tape on it, whatever you have to do, and listen. Because they're not wanting to hear necessarily advice right now. They just want somebody to listen. Be an active listener to your friend. Leave the floor open for them to openly explore their thoughts. Maybe, you know, to eventually come back and actually talk more about it. But to provoke a conversation, you might want to ask, I see that you've been having a tough time lately. How have you been lately? Be sure to validate what's going on with them. Don't minimize it. Don't, you know, just say, oh, just pull your boots on. Yeah, I mean, you know, mental illness is real. Depression is real. And when somebody gets down there, those are the kinds of things that are probably the worst things you can say to them to help them pull out of it. So listen. Just listen. I mean, sometimes it's not much more than it sounds like you're having a rough time. I'm here for you. You know, if you just need somebody to talk to, I'll listen. I mean, don't necessarily give them advice because I guarantee you that's probably not what they're wanting. And that will probably ruin your friendship. Right. Anyway, encourage them to continue or to get into therapy, okay? Be aware of your limitations. If you're not a therapist, don't try to be a therapist. Depression can make an individual very lethargic and create roadblocks to going to therapy. Depression is a very serious mental disorder that can sometimes even create suicidal ideations. Continuing therapy or starting therapy is vital, and you should encourage your friend to go if they ever suggest they are unwilling to. Oh, I don't feel like going to therapy today. I'm just too tired. So encouraging them, hey, you know, this is probably the day that you really need to go to therapy. Right. And inevitably they get up, they feel better. It's like they get out of the door. Just even getting out the door to go to therapy sometimes is a kick in the right direction, so to speak. The same goes for medication. Don't be a doctor. Okay?
Better lie through chemistry.
If your friend wants to stop taking medication because of the unpleasant side effects, because, oh, I think I'm feeling better, I think I'm just going to stop my medicine, be supportive, but encourage them to talk to their physician, their psychiatrist, whoever prescribes their medication about maybe switching their meds, evaluating them, how to titrate off of them if they feel like they don't need them anymore, but encourage them to talk to them and not do rash things on their own. Sure. Because that can be actually detrimental to them in a lot of ways. So take care of yourself. Practice self-care. If you're trying to be there for somebody and you're not taking care of yourself, I've said this over and over and over and over and over again, you will crumble.
And you probably take them down with you.
Absolutely. You look at the house, that you are the foundation. A house cannot be built without a foundation. If the foundation crumbles, the house will fall down. Yep. So, you have to take care of that foundation. You have to take care of you. Breathe in fresh air. Snuggle under a cozy blanket. You know, go for a hike. Sit outdoors by a fire pit. Take a hot shower, a warm bath. Get a massage. Cuddle with a pet. Pay attention to your breathing. Use candles. You know, just take a walk in your bare feet in grass, just not where there's stickers. Stare up in the sky. Lie down where the afternoon sun streams in a window. Listen to music. All these things. Just, I mean, it doesn't take much, but make sure you're taking that little bit of time to take care
Simple
of you.
things.
Simple things. Go blow bubbles. I love blowing bubbles. And it's so relaxing, and it's so much fun just to watch them, especially if you have kids and they go run and chase them, and then it's like, it's relaxing to me, and it's funny for them. So, you know.
That's when you find out who your friends are. She's nuts. She's blowing bubbles. What's wrong with you? Start talking to you. Help you out.
So take care of yourself in amongst all of this. You know, you can be there. You can support your friends. You can help them through this. Recognize your capabilities. Recognize what you can do and what you can't do. Don't give unsolicited advice. Listen. Don't talk. That's the best thing I can do to tell you when you're trying to help a friend with depression. Listen and don't talk, because that's what they need. That's what they're looking for. We're here for you. We're here for your friends at Hope Counseling of Texas, with offices in 4 locations: Hamilton, Dublin, Comanche, and Eastland. And again, we're here for you. You can contact us at 325-356-1105. We take all insurances, and if you don't have insurance, don't panic. We'll find a way to work with you. So, awesome. You know, whatever we can do to help you, again, it's 325-356-1105, or you can find us on Facebook at Hope Counseling in Texas. With 3 therapists, it's on staff. So.
All right. Well, Cynthia and Newton, we sure appreciate you.
All righty. Thank you.
Next week, finding out some more.
That's right. And if you have any topics you want to hear about, be sure to send us a message. All right?
All right. We'll do it.
All right. Thanks.
The weather can be so unpredictable. Rely on